Hey guys, so today I thought I would continue the series of games that inspired me to make a game. And the next game I want to talk about is a game that I feel like is pretty much a 10 out of 10, and there is not many things I could say that for. And I don't think it's even like a subjective 10 out of 10. I think if it is the kind of game you are into, it is very hard to flaw this game. I think it's pretty much perfect. And that game is Spiritfarer. It's really incredible in so many ways, and it really inspired a lot of the way I like to think and approach narrative. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to Spiritfarer is its platforming feeling, because it is a strangely nice feeling of a platformer. So often when you're creating mechanics, you generally think of the mechanics that are within your genre. And to try and make those mechanics feel really good. So if you're creating a FPS, then you should make everything about that, feel really good. You should make how you shoot feel good. You should make the sound effects for that feel really good. Everything should feel really nice for that. And if you're making a platformer, you should make everything about that feel really smooth and satisfying to control. But Spiritfarer is very interesting in the fact that Spiritfarer is not really just a platformer. It is like not a farming sim. It's a you bring spirits to the dead on your boat sim. So it's a boat life management sim. You're kind of minding people on a boat, but there is a weird amount of platforming within that. And all of the platforming mechanics are so satisfying. And platforming becomes more and more how you get around your boat, but also what you do in the world when you're going to collect things. And they really didn't have to make it so satisfying, but when you're sliding down off a building and then you do a little flip up to go back up it, it's just very, very satisfying. And the animations really add to that as well. And it's really nice that they thought not just about how to make a nice tight game loop, but also how to make that game loop even more satisfying by making how you just move about the world really enjoyable. The next thing I want to talk about is how the writing of each character feels like it has an important lesson to tell the player. So, for example, one of the characters, Summer, practices meditation a lot, and there's a point where you go on a quest with Summer, and she basically brings you on a little meditation journey. But Summer also talks about her own struggles with meditation and how she used to think of the mind as a dragon and that you should have to tame the dragon, but actually it's more about learning to live with the dragon. And I think there is a lot in each individual character that makes you think about a certain aspect like that of life and how to live better for it. And I really don't think that there is a lot of games that do that and keep the characters very genuine. But the characters in Spiritfarer all feel very real and like they have their own genuine problems and their own genuine things to go through before they pass on to the next life. Like, it feels like they were all inspired by very real people. The next thing I want to talk about when it comes to Spiritfarer is that the gameplay loop has so much variety. So much variety. Like, it's not just managing and building of a ship and putting it together in such a way that you can platform on it very satisfyingly. It's also going sailing around the world and doing little platforming bits, going through different areas, gathering stuff, talking to shopkeepers, doing quests for your little dude, farming on your boat. Yes, you have a little farms on your boat, but it just feels like almost overwhelming the amount to do. Not in a bad way, but like just in a way of like there's always something new to be done, and it's always very refreshing because you're not doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it just led to a game that for me just felt refreshing to come back to each time because I always knew there was something new to be done, and I haven't finished it, so there still is more to be done. I have a lot of hours in the game, and I just keep coming back and keep saying, no, I don't want to let go of this character. And then I can't finish it because of that. So yeah, there's also that. But the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to Spiritfarer is one of the things that's more obvious about the game. It's beautiful animations and imagery. Like, this is a side-scrolling game, but by God, it is one of the most beautiful side-scrolling games out there, if not the most beautiful. The hand-drawn animations feel oddly smooth, and they work so well with how the mechanics actually feel as well. Like, when you're jumping and you see your character do little flips and turns, it feels like that's you because it's so smooth. And all the colours are beautiful, and all the character designs are beautiful, and everything is really insanely beautiful. It all has a very hand painted feeling to it. It sort of feels like you're watching some kind of beautiful animation or something the whole time, even though you're playing the beautiful animation. And it's just very satisfying to look at all the time. So that is what I love about Spiritfarer. If you haven't tried it yet and you like, well, simulation games that have an element of cuteness to them, um, and also an element of, you know, existentialism, a little bit too, then maybe you'll like this and maybe you should play it. So if you haven't played it, then go do that. As always, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you again soon.